Pretty much chatter at the end of day 5, but not at the end of the last day, because in their wisdom, in their foresight, the ICC had a reserve day, and we are going to use that in its entirety. 98 overs on day 6, and the game wonderfully poised. A couple of results possible. I don't think a third is within the realm of possibility, but we'll talk about all that in just a minute. This is where we are. 217 India. Then New Zealand played an innings in 2 parts today. They sort of went very slow early on. They crawled, and then they suddenly got up and sprinted and got to 249. Lead of 32, important. And India knocked that off and scored another 32, but lost 2 key wickets. End of day 5, India lead by 32. We've got Simon Dool alongside me. And the first thing Simon's going to tell me is tomorrow morning, when he opens the curtains, opens his door, opens the window, he's going to see sunshine tomorrow, Simon.
Evening to you, Harsha. I am going to see sunshine for the first time. We got a glimpse, just a small glimpse today of it for maybe 15, 20 minutes. But we will see sunshine tomorrow. We will see a better day. We'll see a full day. And the good news, I think, from a cricketing point of view, is that the 98 overs actually have to be bowled. Doesn't matter what time we finish. The last hour cannot start until 83 overs have been bowled.
Which is actually good in a sense, because it then leads us into what the likely scenarios are going to be. But we'll do that in just a minute. Let's look back at the day. And I thought, as I said a little while ago, New Zealand crawled and crawled and crawled. They made, 34 runs early on in that first session. And then suddenly they got 114 or so in 27 overs. It's almost as if at lunch someone told them, by the way, let's get a move on. But I thought the first session was important too, because it ensured that there wouldn't be a collapse. They ensured that New Zealand weren't going to lose this game. They lost those 2 wickets towards the tail end of that session. And then that session 2 ensured they went ahead. So pretty much New Zealand's day today.
It was all about survival, I think, that first session. And the problem with survival, and when that's the only thing you're looking to do, if you put 2 wickets on the total, it all of a sudden can scare you. And I think New Zealand supporters would have been looking at that going, we are a bit worried now. And Indian supporters would have thought, okay, we can go bang, bang again, tuck, tuck, and we might have 7. And we might be right back on top of this game. So the innings from Kyle Jamieson and Tim Southee were vital. They were crucial. New Zealand have been the best in this World Test Championship scenario from 6 to 11. So the wickets lost from 6 to 10. New Zealand have put on the most runs of any of those teams in the World Test Championship. So you look at that innings from, de Grandon was a little bit iffy for mine, but Jamieson and Southee, they were crucial 51 runs that those 2 put together. And from a New Zealand point of view, that's kind of what saved them, I think, at the back end.
The last 3 put on 57, India's last 3 put on 12. There's 45 runs, and the difference between the 2 sides was 32. A couple of things about India's bowling. I thought Shami was excellent, but towards the end started to look like he was tiring. India looked 1 seam bowler short, but also, and here's because you were there, if Jasprit Bumrah had bowled to form, then India may not have felt the absence of that one seamer.
Yeah, that's twofold, that, isn't it? The lack of preparation, and I talked about it last night, the intra-squad matches are fine, and it's all well and good. And New Zealand had them prior to the test match at Lords. It's just the fact that as you get late in the day and as you get later in your spells, 20, 21, 22, 23 overs, your legs get heavy, and they are going to, because it's the replication of match intensity that you cannot get from playing 4 overs of 2020 cricket and playing intra-squad matches. It just can't happen. Now, everybody tries to do it, but it won't happen. 25, 26, 26. If India were asked to come out tomorrow afternoon and front up, they would find it very difficult. The beauty from New Zealand's point of view, after a long first innings spell, yes, they've had those test matches to prepare already, but they had a fully washed out rain day. So their bowlers were fresh as daisies coming into today. They had all this rain, they had all this time off, played table tennis and had massages, and they were all okay. India, if they had to come out, if you had to ask Mohammad Shami and Jasprit Bumrah, Nishant Sharma to come out tomorrow and bowl another 55, 60 overs in the afternoon, they will just look a little bit down on pace and down on intensity, I'm sure. So I was impressed, though, today. Shami found that length. We've talked about it last night. He found the right length today, got a little bit fuller, found the edge of the bat or found the wickets, found the pads. He was brilliant today, and Ishant Sharma as well.
I mean, I saw the graphic you put up of the normal English length in an English summer, and Shami was significantly behind. And you saw when he bowled full, I thought the most dramatic representation of that was the wicket of Vijay Watling. Now, we're talking of a proper batsman. We're not talking of a wicket keeper who holds a bat in hand and comes out. Watling's a proper batsman. Averages 37, 38 from where he bats. But it was a fuller length. Had the same ball been a meter short, would probably have seemed a little bit more and missed off stump, or might have gone over the stump. The length was the key. Yeah,
they missed the bat, don't they? And we saw that from yesterday, I think. And I talked to Ravi Ashwin after the game, interviewed him. He said he bowled really well yesterday. He did bowl well, and it always looks good. And this is what I'm saying about Shami in these sort of conditions. It looks good when you're beating the bat all the time, but if you're not getting wickets, it actually doesn't do you or the team any good. When you're getting wickets, you got Fuller, look to get driven. You know, Ross Taylor's one. It was a drivable ball, but just didn't quite get on top of it. So to me today was all about Shami's length and that intensity. As it dropped off at the back end, yeah, it looked a little bit slower, but it was those key wickets this morning, the one of Ross Taylor, the one of BJ Watling. They were beautiful deliveries. He got it full enough and found that right English length with the Duke's ball.
Bumrah a little underdone because these are fantastic conditions to bowl in. He's one of the best in the world. Little underdone, or just an off day, like batsmen don't time the ball some days, just an off day?
Yeah, just an off day, I think. I mean, we know how good he is. The stats don't lie. He is class. And, just wasn't quite his day today. And you have those. I mean, we have to keep reminding people. I have to keep reminding myself, that's the amount of good days I had in Test match cricket after 32 of them. You don't have that many really good or great days. You just have to remind yourself that sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah, and now we're going into a 6th day, and it's time, Simon Dool, to put you in the hot spot. All you guys, Simon, who come off a long run, not figuratively, actually in a bad situation. You come in off a long run and just do not bowl enough overs. I mean, New Zealand at least were reasonably, they were just sort of a couple of overs short. But India in that second hour, India in that session, you look at 13 and 14.2, it looks all right. But that was 27.2 in about 2 hours and 10 minutes because that session got extended a little bit. In a game where so much time has been lost to the weather, we're actually losing 20, 25 overs to slow over rates.
Look, it's sad. It's a shame. There is no right, no wrong answer to it. They've tried many, many things. They've tried different things around the world in county cricket, test match level. They've tried fines. It's just not working. It is not working. I do not have the answer. I don't know what the answer is. Is the answer penalty runs at the back end of the day for the bowling side? If you do that, the batsmen start to waste time. So they're guaranteed to get penalty runs at the back end because the batsmen are not silly either. They know that if they, the shoelace comes undone and then they just take a little bit more time between deliveries. All of those things
materialize suddenly.
Yeah, all of those things will assist them at the back end of the day. I don't know the answer. Nobody has suggested anything to me that I believe would 100% work. So where are we at? We get to these situations where, again, another 23 overs in this game, if all of a sudden there's 120 overs left in this contest, it becomes more mouth-watering. I don't have the answers, Harsha. I'm sorry. Hashtag CrickBuzz, at CrickBuzz Live. I don't know. Send them in. Tell us. There'll be thousands of theories out there, but which one's right?
I mean, captains have missed games because of this. Australia have missed a possible qualification to the World Test Championship final because they lost 4 points. Today, West Indies have been docked 6 points. I mean, not only did they lose a test, they also bowled 3 overs short. They've been docked 6 points, but we're still getting slow over rates. And hopefully, as Simon said, not hopefully, but that's what it is. 98 overs tomorrow. Who knows? I mean, how long will we be playing? Luckily, it's a sunny day, so you can bat on. And sunset, I noticed, 21st was the longest day. Sunset's about 9:30. Can you imagine 9:30? So I don't think light will be an issue.
It's still light enough now. Yeah. I look out my window, Harsh. It's still actually, the clouds are around. If it was bright blue sky, you'd be playing. You'd still be playing now.
How long is it light on a summer day in New Zealand? 10 o'clock?
Oh, it's central Otago in the South Island. I mean, you can get to 9:30, 10 o'clock and it's still quite light. Absolutely.
Can you imagine? I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed. It's hot outside. Oh, no, it's not hot. It's bright. It never gets hot in Otago, Dunedin. I got scared out of my wits today when Simon said, this looks a bit and feels a bit like Dunedin. No, nothing feels like Dunedin when it's cold. I'm just reminding people, I was in Dunedin, Simon, 1992, India playing New Zealand in a World Cup semi-final. And I'm doing commentary with Jeremy Coney, and I said, it's so cold. And someone actually came and gave me wicket-keeping gloves to wear. It was that cold. But we now know
it's very hard to push the off-air button, though, Harsha, when you got wicket-keeping gloves. You can't push the off-air button or the mute button or the cough button.
I know, we're doing radio, though, so we got the constant chatter. And as you know, Jeremy can talk for as long as you want when required. Okay. Let's look at it. We're delighted. We got full 98 overs in tomorrow. Let's press fast forward. Fast forward. Fast forward. Okay, we got that. We got fast forward. 98 overs left. India 32 had 2 wickets in hand. How long do India need to bat to be absolutely certain? I sort of budgeted, I thought with over rates, whatever, 1991, but now that you've cleared the doubt about the last hour after 83, you're going to get 98 overs in. India would need to bat 60 of those. If India bats 60, get about, the over run rate, they're going about 150, which means the lead is 180 with 30 left. 32 left.
It depends who's batting, Harsha, doesn't it? I mean, we know that Virat Kohli scores quickly. We know that if Rishabh Pant comes in and gets going, he scores quickly. It depends on what India look to do. And again, we go back to this morning's scenario and what we talked about last night. India aren't going to go out and force the issue from ball one tomorrow morning. They are going to make sure that they are safely through that first hour and a half, first 20 overs, and then just see where the game is at that stage. If Virat Kohli bats for 30 overs, we know how quickly he can score. We know how quickly he runs between the wickets. We know what Rishabh Pant can do if he comes in. I don't see anyone really forcing the issue, but I also don't see, and you know, maybe I'm talking with my New Zealand hat on a little bit, if New Zealand got bowled out inside of 45, 50 overs, they don't deserve to win. If you can't bat 50 overs in a test match, there's something wrong, especially on a surface that is getting better to bat on. So I don't see the issue being forced by either side at this stage because there is too much at stake.
Yeah, New Zealand don't need to force the issue because if they continue taking wickets, the situation happens by itself. I thought the Rohit Sharma wicket could well be a turning point. India going in 60 for 1 with Rohit Sharma well set and ready to bat the next morning. It's completely different from India 60 for 2. A top order batsman was looking secure. Gee, that Tim Southee.
He was looking good again. I mean, Tim Southee he is just continuing to evolve as a cricketer, as a bowler in particular. And he's been so good. He was brilliant again. You know, Lords, he was brilliant against England. He's been fantastic here. Not at his absolute best in the first innings, but he's shown tonight and this afternoon how good he is and how crucial a part of this New Zealand setup he is. So 2 for 17 off 9. Trent Bolt, it just has looked a little bit out of sorts, a little bit underdone. I thought Jamieson bowled another fantastic spell. He's miserly. Time and time again, Kyle Jamieson is miserly. And that's been one of the great contributions to the early part of his career.
I mean, there were some comments going out saying, Kyle Jamieson, you've got a good contract. You don't have to come out and bat like you're auditioning for RCB. You've got a good contract. Just saying that. But he's been such a great find from that height, swinging the ball. And the one thing in New Zealand's favor, I will say, I'm not just talking up New Zealand to the detriment of India, but I will just put the cards out there. There's always one fresh fast bowler available to New Zealand. Because they're playing 4 and Colin de Grandhomme can come and bowl a few, there's always one fresh fast bowler available. What would Virat Kohli have given for one fresh fast bowler today? But that's the team you picked, and that's a team that seemed right at that point. What are you calling it? Okay, I'll ask you to give odds. Draw, New Zealand win. We'll talk about an India win if possible at all at some point. I see that in too distant, it's too far away at this stage.
Yeah. Look, I'd probably give it a 90% draw. A 10% New Zealand.
Why don't I believe you? Why don't I believe you? Why do I get the feeling you're trying to say something else?
I just think that I think it's going to be a lot more difficult to get wickets tomorrow with the surface, with the sun out. I just think it's going to be a lot more difficult.
We'll wait and see. Sun out. We've not seen that a lot. We'll wait and see what it does to swing bowling. The ball is, more wickets have tended to fall around 60, 70 overs with that ball. It's still hooping around. This ball is already 30 overs old. Now, remember, 50 overs is what I talked about, 50 overs into the game. If you've sort of 6, 7 down, there's a new ball that gets available to New Zealand. So all I'm trying to tell you is so many results possible. All we focused in this game is how much time has been lost. What I want to tell you is, hang on, there's still lots that can happen tomorrow. And of course, Simon will be there, and we'll chat tomorrow at the end of the final of the World Test Championship. Thank you very much, Simon. Look out of your window into the bright sunshine while I walk home after midnight. Goodbye.
Thanks, Harsh. Look forward to tomorrow.
Take care. Bye.